friends, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I am going to be swapping books with my bestie, Sarah. We decided that we are each going to pick out 3 of our favorite books for the other to read. She does a series on her channel called TBR Takeover, where she has different booktubers basically take over her TBR, and I've done it once before for her, and it turned out very successful. So this time we are choosing books for each other. I picked 3 books for her, and she's picking 3 books for me, and I am very excited because we have a lot of favorite books in common. I would say she's probably one of the booktubers who I have the most similar taste to. We just tend to like a lot of the same things. However, there are certain times that we don't overlap. So I feel like the odds are that I will like the books that she picks for me, but there could be a curveball thrown in. You never know. We have a ton of favorite books in common. In fact, when I did reading booktubers' favorite books earlier in the year, I had a category with my booktube twins, and she was my top booktube twin and the person that I had the most favorite books in common with, which is just really not surprising because we always kind of read each other's book recommendations, which I think kind of is working at a disadvantage for us in this video because we've already read most of each other's favorite books. So I really had to dig deep with the books that I picked for her, and I think she kind of had to do the same thing. So I'm very curious to see what she ends up picking for me. Okay, I am about to join Sarah and we are going to tell each other the books that we picked for each other. I'm nervous for what she's going to give me because recently she sent me a voice message when she was like, I don't know the 3rd book I'm gonna pick you, blah, blah, blah. And then she thought of something and then started evil laughing.
Okay, I think I've decided what I'm gonna make you read. Yeah, no, I think I've changed. I think I know what I'm gonna make you read.
So now I'm nervous. I'm nervous. I have some predictions, things I think she might pick for me, but I don't want to speak them out loud. There's one book in mind that I'm I know it's a favorite book of hers that I've actually DNF'd twice. I guess I'll just say it. It's The Diviners. Here's the thing. If she picks that, I will be willing to try it again because I think the reasons that I DNF'd it originally were I just wasn't in the mood. It wasn't I wasn't enjoying them. And then I just moved beyond wanting to read YA. I don't know, I just have an inkling because the problem is that we have already read most of each other's favorite books. You'll have to check out her video to see what I ended up picking for her because I'm hopeful that she's going to like the ones that I picked. I have reasons why I think she might, but I don't know, she's a picky bitch, so she could also not like them as easily as I could see her liking them.
So the first one is a thriller that you have previously DNF'd. But I looked at my shelves and I was like, what do I want Riley to read that I would not care if she didn't like it, but it's still one of my favorites? And I thought you should give it a second chance. Now, did I read it in 2017 and I haven't reread it since? Sure. You can let me know if it's good. But I want you to try it again. Okay. Why did you DNF it?
Okay, in fairness, I think I only read 1 chapter.
Okay, come on. You didn't even get to the big reveals.
Okay, I will try again.
This was one of the first adult thrillers that I read where I was like, tell me what's gonna happen. Show it to me. Show it to me.
You know, I know that people love Karen Slaughter, and I haven't read anything by her, so
I think you just need to give it another go. I will not be offended if you don't like this. I was gonna make you read True Crime Story, but I actually would be upset if you didn't like it. So I was like, I can't have that on my conscience. I can't have that. So this one I was like, I think there's a chance if you give her a chance. Because it's very dark and gritty. There's imagery in this book that to this day I've never forgotten. There's some dead bodies described that I was like,
I'm gonna be honest, I don't even think I know what it's about.
It's about these 2 sisters. One of them is very affluent. She married rich, and her name's Claire. I remember their names too. This is how much I love this book. I remember her name's Claire. She married, she was affluent, and the very start of the book, her husband gets mugged and he gets murdered. They're in an alley after they go on a date, and then he gets killed. So then her sister Lydia, they've been estranged for a really, really long time just because of something that happened when they were younger. And after her husband died, she started going on his computer and she starts feigning some things. And she's like, that's suspicious. That's weird.
Okay.
I feel like these are real
actually, I think this is not the one that I DNF.
Oh, maybe you DNF The Good Daughter. That's the one with the school shooting.
Oh, the one that I thought it was this one, but the one that I DNF'd had like a 40-page prologue that was like this girl getting her eyes gouged out.
Oh yeah, that's The Good Daughter.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Dude, this one's good. This one's really good.
Okay, I always thought it was this one, but I guess I just got them mixed up.
The Good Daughter is good as well. I own that as well. I would say this is my favorite over The Good Daughter.
Okay.
I think this one's better. I think this one's up your alley.
Okay. I'm excited now.
Yes. Okay, great. Okay, the next one is a classic, a Sarah classic. I think you might know what it could be. It's paranormal.
I literally said to my camera, I think this is what she's gonna pick.
The Niners!
Knew it!
Here's the thing, the audiobook is one of the best audiobooks I've ever listened to in my life. But I really love it.
I feel like people would want me to read this.
Yes, I think this is good. I do think you unhauled your original copy, but that's okay.
I did, which I always kind of regretted because isn't that like a rare?
No, yeah, you can't get it anymore. This is my special edition, but the cover that looks like this, that was the original, you cannot buy that anymore unless you buy it used.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, someone got lucky at a half price books.
They did. And then finally, I'm gonna make you read my favorite. I think you just saw it. My favorite romance of the year. It's been a while since you read this author. I think it's time to dip your toe back in. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna make you read Funny Story.
Yay!
Yeah, I think you wanted to read this one anyway. Also, this copy is so cute because it's got the lemons on the side.
Yeah, I noticed that because I got a copy at Costco.
This one's just so cute because it's also kind of like small town vibes. It's like friends. It's like friends to lovers, but then also fake dating at the same time. Also kind of a slow burn because it's like I don't know. There's a lot of time before they like hook up, and they like are very much best friends before it happens.
Yeah,
and it's also Emily Henry's best sex scenes.
Oh, I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm excited. So I hope that you like this. But yeah, it's kind of an eclectic 3 books that I gave you.
Yeah. Okay, you also kind of picked long books for me.
No, you could be on this. I feel as though you gave me 3 semi-long books.
No.
Hey, this one is like 380 pages.
So 400.
This one is also, mind you, this is a little tiny book, like a short, like height wise. This is it's only 396. Let me tell you something, the Diviners might be 578 pages.
Yeah.
I do believe it's like an 18-hour audiobook. You know, it is what it is.
Yep.
But I'm excited for you to read these.
Okay, I went to the library and I picked up the 2 books that I don't already own, Pretty Girls and The Diviners. Thankfully, they had them in stock because I did not want to have to buy them. So then after I went to the library, I stopped by the thrift store. That is my favorite thrift store. I always find the cutest stuff there. And this time I went, I actually found this beautiful long skirt. It's just this like gorgeous material. It's kind of like ruffly a little bit. It's just so fun. I love it. The only problem is it's not my size, but I couldn't leave it. I debated it so much, but I could not leave it behind. I really had to get it. I was like, I've been looking for something exactly like this. It's not my fault, it's not my size, but I actually took fashion in high school, so I do know how to sew. So I thought my sewing skills could come into handy and I could try to alter this to fit it to me. It has been a long time since I've sewn, and I also don't have a sewing machine, so I'm gonna have to do it by hand. I needed a little like refresher for my hand sewing skills, so I actually watched a class on Skillshare called Hand Sewing Basics that's actually done by Bernadette Banner, who is a YouTuber who talks about costume design and fashion history. I've watched her YouTube channel for a while and I really love it, so I was excited when I saw she had a class on Skillshare, and this video is actually being sponsored by Skillshare. If you've never heard of it, Skillshare is the largest online learning community for creatives with thousands of classes led by industry professionals that range in so many different topics and activities, hobbies, skills, honestly, like anything you want to learn, you can find a class for it on Skillshare. Summer is always the perfect time to pick up and learn a new hobby or skill. I've taken a lot of different classes on there, from video editing to graphic design, ways that I make my thumbnails and edit my videos, and obviously for sewing. And the best part, the first 500 people who use my link will get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare, and you can just click the link in the description to join. So I'm hoping that by refreshing my sewing skills and relearning the basics from the class that I took, I will be able to alter this skirt, hopefully in time. Next week, I'm actually going to the Niall Horan concert with my mom, and I would like to wear this to the concert if I get it done in time. So Skillshare is really coming through right now and helping me make this dream skirt that I have a reality. So this is like my vision of how it would look in the end when I'm done. I just have it bunched in the back right now with this belt, but this is my vision. I feel like, I don't know, it's just so cute. I think I can make it work. I do. I just love all of the different like tiers and layers, just like such a pretty fabric. I really think that I will be able to make it work. And then once it does, it's gonna be so cute. Okay, now for reading updates. I have started the Diviners. I don't know if I've said this already, but I did start this like a long time ago. I owned it, and I actually found where I left off. It was 85 pages in the first time that I tried to read this back in like 2015, 2016. It takes place in the 1920s in New York City, following a bunch of characters, but the main character is this girl named Evie, who has this ability that when she touches objects, she can like, she learns things about them. So she like has kind of like visions where she like sees things related to particular objects that she's touching. Her parents send her to live with her uncle, who lives in New York, and he runs this like museum of oddities. So she goes to live with him, and she meets all of these other characters who all have their own kind of magical gifts. They're all diviners, and there's a serial killer loose who's killing people. They're trying to figure out who the killer is and stop him. I am listening to the audiobook and like following along in the physical book. The audiobook is really, really good. It's narrated by January Lavoie, who is a really great narrator. And yeah, I don't know, I like the vibes so far. I actually did just pass the part that I had read originally, so I'm now 100 pages in. So I'm now surpassed myself from 8 years ago. I feel like of all the books that Sarah gave me, this is the one that I'm the most nervous to dislike, because this is Sarah's like baby. She loves this book so much. She even has a tattoo, like an eye tattoo. I'm pretty sure it's an eye. No, I'm pretty sure it's an eye. She has a Diviner's tattoo, like that's how much she loves it. So I'm a little scared. She did tell me that she won't be offended if I don't like any of these books, but I'm like, I feel like this would be the one that maybe she would be a little bit sad about. Okay, I have an update. I finished the Diviners. I will say my enjoyment went down a lot. It's so hard, I think, for me to read like older YA books, because I've had the same feeling like when I was reading Strange the Dreamer, where I was like, if I had read this when it came out, would I have liked it more? If I had read it when I was the type of reader who really loved YA, maybe I would feel differently. But I don't read a lot of YA anymore. I think I read like 1 or 2 a year. So like I'm not the audience for it anymore, and I just really don't know. I don't know, because there were times that I was enjoying this book, but I think for the majority of it, I wasn't. I'm giving the Diviners 3 stars. I'm so sorry, Sarah. I'm so sorry. Here's my thing. It got very boring. I think that the intro and like the setup was interesting, and then it's so long, and there's so many chapters where I just felt like nothing was happening. I also never really cared about any of the characters. I feel like they were all a little flat, and like kind of cardboard cutouts. I don't know, like I feel like you could really tell what archetype each character was like fit into, and then there wasn't really much beyond that. I will say I did like the setting, like the 1920s New York vibe. However, I kind of feel like the book relied on that too much, and if you took that away, like what's left? I do feel like when Libba Bray was writing this, she Googled every single 1920s slang word or phrase and put every single one that she found in this book. There was a lot of like, it's the bee's knees, it's the cat's pajamas. I don't know, it was a lot. It was a lot. I really feel like she had a goal to put every single 1920s slang she could find into this book, and she did it. I don't know, I do think that like the ending of this book I liked. Like, it kind of did grab me in the end. I don't think I would ever continue the series, especially since I know that like nobody likes the last book. I don't know, I mean, I'm glad that I read it because I have always been curious, because I feel like this was one of those books from like when I started BookTube that people just like really loved, and I never got around to reading it. So I'm glad that I finally read it. It was not my favorite. I was not obsessed, and I am so sorry, Sarah. I'm so sorry. We're not starting off on the greatest foot here, but it's fine. I have hope. I have hope that we can turn this around. Reading update, Pretty Girls. I have actually started it. I don't know, let me see where I'm at. I'm pretty sure I just got to part 3. Okay, I did. So I'm 80 pages in. I'm a little scared because I already have a couple problems. Basically, okay, what this is about so far is we're following 2 main characters who are sisters, but they're estranged from each other. They haven't talked to each other in 20 years. And we find out that they had a 3rd sister, and when they were kids, the 3rd sister disappeared and was never found. And it was like a really big thing. It destroyed their family. Now, 20 years later, another girl has gone missing in kind of like a similar situation. And in the first chapter, one of the main characters, Claire, she is out to dinner with her husband, and then they go to get a little freaky in the alley, and while they're back there, a man comes to rob them, and as he's robbing them, he murders her husband right in front of her. And then the other sister, Lydia, she has a daughter who's a teenager. She also is a recovering drug addict, and at the end of her chapter, she gets the news. Her husband tells her that her sister's husband, her brother-in-law, was murdered, and she goes, I hope he suffered. Oh, I was gagged. I was like, oh my God, what'd the husband do? So clearly something happened, and I'm assuming that whatever happened with the husband is why the sisters don't talk to each other anymore. But okay, the reason why I'm nervous is because during the funeral, Claire is going through her husband's computer and she stumbles across a video that I'm not gonna describe, but it's very disturbing. Very disturbing. And the video showed a particular thing that actually gives me nightmares. Like, I actively, anytime I hear about this thing, like in a movie or a TV show or whatever, I actively have to scrub my brain out because I don't want to think about it, because it makes me so uncomfortable. And I'm nervous because I didn't know that's what this book was about, and I'm already feeling like I want to throw up, and I'm nervous it's gonna go even deeper into that topic, and I'm scared. I'm scared, okay? I'm trying like not to get ahead of myself of like, I'm not liking this. I want to give it its fairest chance because this is obviously like one of Sarah's favorite books. I think she even said it's like her top 2 favorite thrillers. The other one being In My Dreams I Hold a Knife, which I love. Oh my God, wait, I did write this one thing down that happened early on that I was just kind of like, girl, what? So Claire, the sister whose husband was murdered, she's talking to the police and like giving them a description of the guy who mugged them. And she literally says that she was startled that the man who murdered her husband was white. And then she goes, because rich white people are only robbed by Black or Hispanic gang members, right? Girl, you were robbed. This man tried to SA you and he murdered your husband right in front of you. And you were startled that he was white? I think there were other things in that situation to be startled by. So I'm gonna be honest, already don't like Claire. Already don't like her. Because she already has that going against her. And the fact that clearly something happened with her husband and her sister that was like really bad. And then she picked her husband's side. Ugh, already don't like Claire. Claire can fuck off. I need you guys to know I am still on the couch. I realize that. However, it's actually been a very long time. There's been like an entire week now where I have not read anything. I have very, very terrible news. I'm so sorry, Sarah. I hate it. 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 Yeah, I have been dreading picking up this book to the point where I've been like doing literally anything but reading. Every time I go to pick it up, I'm like, ugh, I don't want to. I don't want to. It's a lot of like torture and violence against women. And like, I get it. That's kind of like the point of the book. But I hate the way that Karen Slaughter writes. It is so unnecessarily graphic and detailed that I'm like, it's putting me in a really, really bad mental headspace, which actually what I have been doing for the past week is watching Grey's Anatomy. And that might sound normal to you guys, but to anyone who knows me personally, I only watch Grey's Anatomy when I'm mentally unwell. No other time. When I'm doing great, I don't even think about Grey's Anatomy. When I am mentally unwell, I watch Grey's Anatomy. And between yesterday and today, I've watched 25 episodes. This book has made me unwell. It's just put me in such a weird headspace. I think what I realized, because I was really trying to think about like, why is this book specifically making me feel so unsettled and weird and like giving me nightmares? When I read a lot of horror that's about like crazier things, and I think what it has to do with is like the horror that I read is not realistic, okay? It's like demons and ghosts and supernatural things, cosmic things, like it's not real, whereas this is like very true crimey. It's very real. Like the stuff that's happening in this book happens in real life, and I hate it, and I don't want to think about that. And then on top of the fact, the way that Karen Slaughter writes is so descriptive and detailed. The imagery in the book is just, I don't want to read it. I don't want to read it. The audiobook for this is 20 hours, and I was really trying to figure out like, why is this book so long? It's because she will not stop describing things. She describes everything in so much detail. Everything. I don't like it. Here's the thing. The sister plot is interesting. I just want to read that same storyline from a different author. A completely different author. I mentioned when I was doing that video call with Sarah that I had DNF'd The Good Daughter, and I DNF'd that book for the same reason that I'm not liking this, and it's how detailed and graphic it is. It feels unnecessary. It feels gratuitous. Like, I get being a little detailed, that's fine. It is so detailed to the point where it's like, why? I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like it. And I'm like over halfway, and I've hated every second, and I am literally spiraling mentally. So for my own sake and for Sarah's sake, so that I don't give this book 1 star, I'm gonna DNF it. Because if I keep going, I will be giving it 1 star, but I don't want that on my conscience of giving one of Sarah's favorite books 1 star. So I'm stopping. I'm stopping for my own well-being and for the sake of my friendship with Sarah. I love you, girl, but what the fuck? I started a funny story this morning. Also, I just realized I'm like kind of matching the book. Although, wait, these are lemons. No, my pajamas have oranges on them. Never mind. I was gonna say I'm matching the spine of the book, but it's lemons. Never mind. I read 50 pages. Ooh, I didn't know it was pink underneath. I'm taking the cover off because I'm getting very frustrated. Every time I touch it, it's like getting all of these like smudges on the cover, and it's really bothering me. We need to backtrack a second with my history with Emily Henry. I've only read 2 of her books. I read Beach Read and then People We Meet on Vacation. And then I skipped Book Lover. I skipped Book Lover. I loved Beach Read. I thought People We Meet on Vacation was good, but like fine. Oh wait, no, there was another one that I skipped. Happy Place. I skipped Book Lover and Happy Place. So this is the first book that I've been reading from her in a while, and I already love it. 50 pages in, I'm already having a great time. So basically what this is about is you're following 2 main characters who at the start of the book are in relationships. The main character, Daphne, she is about to get married to the love of her life, Peter, who she like met and had this whirlwind romance with, and she moved to be with him. He's at his bachelor party, and when he gets home, he informs her that he is in love with his female best friend and they are running away together. And she has a week to get out of their house because his new girl, Petra, is gonna move in. And I was like, oh my God. Oh my God. So then she's like freaking out because she's like, I don't know anyone in this town. I moved here to be with him. Like, where am I gonna go? And she gets a knock on the door, knock, knock, knock. And she answers the door and it's Miles, who was in a relationship with Petra, the girl best friend who her fiance has left her to be with. So they decide to move in together to kind of be there for each other through this crazy thing where their partners left them to be together. And then, as if it's not enough, as if that was not enough, they get invited to Peter and Petra's wedding. And they're like, what the fuck? Like, why would they invite us? So they decide that they're going to pretend that they're dating to make Peter and Petra jealous, which is just already a very fun plot. I'm very here for it. Love petty revenge. Oh my God, another reason why I'm loving it. Only 50 pages in, and there's already been so many New Girl references. Some of them are like very, very subtle that I wouldn't really have noticed if there hadn't already been so many. I just know Emily Henry was watching New Girl when she was writing this, and as someone who's watched New Girl like 100 times, I'm live, laugh, loving. I'm having a great time. Give me more. Give me endless New Girl references, please. That's where I stopped right now. They have RSVP'd to the wedding. They're gonna go, pretending that they're together and cause chaos and mayhem. And I love that for them. So I have the audiobook for this and I'm listening to that because Julia Wayland is the narrator and love her. She's one of my top favorite narrators. But I'm gonna do some like house cleaning today while I listen to the book. We'll see how much I can read. Oh my God, okay, I finished Funny Story. I loved it, I loved it. I loved it so much. I did not intend to read it all in one go. I started cleaning my house yesterday and I was just listening to it. And then the next thing I know, I cleaned my entire house and I finished the book because I just never stopped. It was so amazing. I think it is my favorite romance that I've read this year. 5 stars. Amazing. I loved every single second of it. It's definitely my favorite Emily Henry that I've read. And thank God, because if I had finished this video not liking any of these books, I don't think Sarah would have ever talked to me again. I think I realized I love the trope, which I don't even know if this is an actual trope, but I've now read it in a few books that I've loved, where the two characters meet when they're at their like rock bottom, when they're at their lowest, and they form a friendship by like helping each other through their rough patches. That happened also in You Again by Kate Goldbeck, which is one of my other favorite romances of the year. And in both books, the main characters like meet each other or become friends when they've both gone through like really rough breakups, and they like help each other through it and become friends and then fall in love. And I think I just love that so much. I also really liked how the plot went. I kind of was expecting certain things to happen, especially when it comes to like trying to make exes jealous and like that whole plot line. There was things that I was kind of expecting would happen that didn't, and I was very pleasantly surprised. I just loved the way, like where it went. And actually I thought that like when I first started it, I thought that the plot was gonna be like them going to the wedding. They actually never go to the wedding. The plot actually is that the main character Daphne is trying to decide if she wants to stay in the town or not, or if she wants to move away. And she has like a certain amount of days to decide because she's like up for another job back home. And so Miles is like trying to convince her to stay. So he's taking her around town to like all of his favorite places. And so that is like what the plot is, that he's like being her tour guide and like taking her to all these places that he loves, trying to convince her to stay. I also really loved both of the characters, Daphne and Miles, honestly equally, which very rarely happens. I usually like one over the other, but I loved both of them. And yeah, this is definitely my favorite romance of the year. I loved it so much. And it's making me think now, should I go back and read Book Lover and Happy Place? I don't know. I feel like from what I know of Happy Place, I don't know if I would like that one, but I'm considering going back and reading Book Lover. Let me know in the comments if you think I should do that. Yeah, we finally have a win from Sarah, which this was the one that I was like the most optimistic that I would like. I think she is too. All right, so now I'm gonna head over and I'm actually gonna tell Sarah what I thought of all these books. Pray for me. Pray for me. I'm very nervous how she's gonna react. What I wanna do is I'm gonna tell you what I rated them and I want you to guess
Which one is which?
which one is which, okay? So there's a 5-star,
Okay.
a 3-star,
Okay.
and a DNF/1-star.
Oh my God. Funny Story is the 5-star. Diviners is the 3-star, and you DNF'd Pretty Girls.
You're correct.
No, see, you for some reason have something against Karen Slaughter.
No, I do. Okay, I'll start with that one. I'll tell you why I didn't like it. I just hate her writing. I hate her writing.
Okay.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Okay, I gave it my best try. I read over 50%. Every single step of the way, I wanted to stop.
That's so crazy. I found her writing like really addicting.
I found it too descriptive.
Oh, okay. I think I liked that because it's hard to find that in thrillers.
Oh, yeah, no, it was too descriptive for me.
That's so interesting because you love horror.
Okay, no, but this is what I said was that I think the difference is that with horror, it's like not real. Whereas like
this is real.
Real. And I was like, no.
No, it's real. Like there's some imagery that's in my brain forever.
Yeah, and I want to take it out. No, okay. That book is why I've been watching Grey's Anatomy. Put me in a state of unwellness.
Genuinely fair. For anyone watching Riley's vlog and you hear the description and you're like, that sounds horrible, you should not read it then. You should not read it. Like it's basically like if you really like true crime, but you don't feel good about consuming true crime, so you want to consume like fictional true crime, that is what Karen Slaughter is for. Like you will get the gore, you will get the crazy, you will get this and that. Like don't read it if it sounds bad to you.
The thing is that I like the sister plot.
Yes.
Like that plot I liked.
Yeah.
I would just want that from somebody else.
No, that's fair. No, Karen Slaughter, she's like, oh, I will give you nightmares about real stuff that could happen to you.
Yeah.
No, I had a feeling that Pretty Girls would be a hit or miss for you, and it clearly was a miss, especially because you did already DNF The Good Daughter, which The Good Daughter has a lot of similar. Karen Slaughter really explores violence against women, so you have to be okay with that.
Yeah.
And when I think about your favorite thrillers, I'm like, oh, it actually kind of makes sense that you didn't like this because you like In My Dreams I Hold a Knife, which is not like this.
I was like, for the sake of our friendship, I have to stop.
I mean, I wouldn't have cared if you gave it 1 star.
Okay. Well, it's a DNF. I'm not like saying it's 1 star. It's a DNF.
It would have been though.
Yeah. So the Diviners, I gave 3 stars because I found it boring.
This one is actually crazy to me though. That one's crazy. Listen, you're allowed to give 3 stars, and I'm not mad at you at all. But that's actually insane.
Like I was just like, oh my god, it's so long, and like nothing is happening. Yeah, I mean the audiobook was good. I think it would have been less stars if I wasn't listening to the audiobook.
That's actually crazy to me. That's actually crazy. There's a murder mystery going on. What do you mean there's nothing going on?
Right? I just felt like there was like so many chapters where I'm like, okay, what are we doing? What are we talking about? What's happening?
There was so much happening.
Okay, I also feel like it's too late for me to like really read YA.
That's fair.
It's just a hard sell.
I have a lot of nostalgia for the Diviners, and I think I have reread it in recent times. Like I reread it in like 2020, and then 2021 I did a whole reread.
If I had read it like a long time ago, maybe I would have liked it more. I just don't think I'm the audience for it anymore.
That's fair. It was a risk. And
yeah. I'm so sorry.
Well, at least I gave you 1 5-star. I knew you would give 5 stars.
Okay, wait. The other thing with the Diviners was I really feel like Lippa Bray put in every single 1920s slang that she could possibly find.
I think I'm going to fight you because there's another person we know, Max. He put that in his review as well. And I'm like, I'm going to square up. Next time I see you, it feels authentic.
I didn't know.
I wasn't offended by the 3-star rating until now.
Well, then you're really going to be offended when you watch my video.
You're gonna make fun of it. And you know how you and I always choose to like not, if we know someone's gonna speak ill of a book that we like, we're like, oh, I just don't want to watch that. And I have to watch.
You shouldn't have picked it.
You know what it is? You know when somebody rates one of your favorite books low and then you start going through your Rolodex of all the books you know that they rated high and you're like, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
What are you trying to say? What are you trying to say? Okay, well, I gave Funny Story 5 stars. I loved it so much. So great. My favorite romance of the year, actually.
It's so good. Did you like the New Girl vibes?
Oh my God, I loved it. I loved it. There were so many New Girl references. I know she was watching that show while she wrote it.
I just love that Miles was the one at the beginning, like crying to the music.
Yeah.
Or like or whatever. Like, I was like, this is literally at the beginning of New Girl when Jess moves in.
Yeah. No, it was perfect. I also told my mom about it and she started listening to it.
Oh my God, that's such amazing slay because normally Miss Marty does not pick up anything you tell her to read.
I know. I was just telling her about it and she was like, oh, that sounds really good. And then she downloaded it and started. I haven't heard what she thinks of it yet, but she did.
You're back in the Emily Henry game because you haven't read since People We Meet on Vacation, right?
Yeah. It was great. I think I kind of, not like that I wrote her off, but I didn't really like People We Meet on Vacation. Like, it was fine. So then I was like, okay, I'm good. But I might go back and read her other books now.
It's not like People We Meet on Vacation was my favorite Emily Henry before I read the story.
I didn't know that.
Okay, Funny Story is my new favorite.
Okay.
I think my official rating is Funny Story, People We Meet on Vacation, then Beach Read, then Book Lovers, and then in hell is Happy Place.
Okay. I don't think I would read Happy Place. I think I might try
Book Lovers.
Book Lovers.
You should. I think you'd like it because it's not Grumpy Sunshine, it's Grumpy Grumpy.
Oh, perfect.
Well, the guy isn't like grumpy, but like he is not like sunshiny, but she is very grumpy. And
yeah.
It's very fun. I think you like that. And it's got Small Town. You like that.
Yeah, I'll try it. You know, you were 1 out of 3.
Okay, what pisses me off about when I do these TBR takeovers with other people is I know I have given you recommendations of so many 5-star books. Like you have read so many books that I have put you onto.
Yeah.
But it wasn't for a video. Yeah. And you might mention briefly in the video, oh yeah, like I got you to read In My Dreams Hold a Knife. I got you to read Veronica Speedwell. Like, I have given you some of your favorite books of all time. Mm-hmm. Why is it not when it's on camera? Why does it make me look, especially because the last time I did one of these was with Katie Colson and she rated like every single book like 1 or 2 stars. So it's like, oh, so suddenly I don't know how to recommend books to people.
You're getting a bad rap.
I am.
You know, I do think the problem was that we've already read all of each other's favorite books.
We have.
It was like hard to pick.
Right, because I think of all the ones that I would have had you read and you've read all of them. I'm actually genuinely not mad that you DNF'd Pretty Girls. I really liked it, but the reasons I liked it are the exact reasons you just said you didn't like it.
Yeah. Like, I think she's not the author for me.
Yeah. Definitely not. She's very gory, very like she's just gonna go there. To me, I'm like, well, thrillers like this are gonna exist no matter what, and I think I would rather read a woman writing violence against women than a man. Right? Like, imagine if this thriller was by a man, I probably wouldn't have read it. Yeah, I would have been like, oh, so let's check your basement. What's going on at your house? Let's download your internet history. Diviners was a long shot. I thought you were gonna like the audiobook more than you did.
No, I did like the audiobook. Like the narration.
I guess it didn't even occur to me that someone would find the Diviners boring. This actually makes me feel a lot better though, because I haven't finished your books yet. And one of them,
you're gonna
no. One of them I really don't like, but I was like, I've been like planning like, okay, what am I gonna say? And I actually was gonna give it a nicer rating than I actually feel because I felt so guilty. But now to know that how you rated yours, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna speak my truth. The one I'm thinking was actually the book I'm thinking of, but I'm like, oh, you like that one?
Okay, I just got off my call with Sarah, and she has actually asked me to come defend her honor here, that she is actually good at recommending me books. So I pulled off a bunch of examples of books that she has recommended me in the past that she was like specifically telling me, you have to read this, that I loved. If we're going percentage wise, she has probably like a very high percentage of actually recommending me books I love. This video is not an adequate representation. Here's a bunch of the books that she has recommended me that I loved. We have The World Gives Way, In My Dreams I Hold a Knife, A Curious Beginning. Like, she is the one that put me on Veronica Speedwell in like 2017. Half a Soul, The Patient. I'm sure that there's a bunch more, but these are some very good examples that she is good at recommending books. She is, despite what this video may seem like. Yeah, it's not her fault. It's not her fault. So that is gonna be the end of this video. Make sure you go check out Sarah's video where she read the books that I picked for her. Thank you guys for watching. If you liked this video, please like and subscribe and check out my Patreon where I post tons of exclusive content. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!